Yeah, I up during the time me and my wife were off. We weren't with each other for like a year. Which I gotta tell y'all my business because you motherfuckers is cheater. Y'all just a cheater. Cheating where? Where are they?
Hear me out. This isn't your average reality TV altercation. It's a court battle that has been building for years. And Kirk Frost just delivered a knockout blow that has Jasmine Washington reeling. Stay tuned for the details. For those who have been following along, Kirk's recent courtroom altercation with Jasmine has entirely changed the course of events. It was Jasmine who upset the balance in 2016 by accusing Kirk of being the father of her son Cannon and leaking information about their affair that rocked his marriage to Rashida. It wasn't just rumors either. She broadcast it on the radio, turning it into a full-fledged spectacle and nightmare. Kirk's inability to shake Jasmine continued to be unclear. She fought hard for child support and official recognition, which caused this mess to drag through the courts and the tabloids for years. There have been accusations of Kirk ignoring his responsibilities, tug-of-war paternity disputes, and constant chaos on and off screen. But now Kirk has pulled off a legal slam dunk. The judge didn't just lean in his favor. They slammed the door shut on Jasmine's entire case. Whatever Kirk brought to that courtroom was sufficient to dismantle her claims brick by brick. What is the secret weapon Kirk unleashed to turn the tide so hard, and where does this leave us? Since Jasmine has been relying on this plotline for support, let's travel back in time and examine the incredible journey that led to this breathtaking moment.
Jasmine.
Whatever.
So what's the deal?
Honestly, let me say this. Me and you haven't really had any type of communication like this ever before. Feel like maybe me and you need to open up a communication line instead of me and him. Maybe it will be better that way.
You just told me my husband trying to you, and then you telling me you want to open up a communication line with me?
I mean,
Are you kidding me?
Imagine this. It is the middle of the night, and Jasmine arrives at Kirk Frost's house like a storm ready to burst out. Her neighbors claimed that she wasn't just dropping by. She was knocking on doors and yelling loudly enough to wake the entire street, transforming a peaceful evening into something straight out of a Hollywood movie. People in the vicinity were shocked and peered out their windows as Jasmine erupted in a rage, accusing Kirk of ignoring her calls, denying her child support, and abandoning her and their son Cannon. The utter pandemonium wasn't just a tantrum or a request for money, despite what some people believed to be a theatrical act for the cameras. Jasmine wasn't holding back as she took revenge, calling Kirk someone who had disappeared from her and Cannon's life ever since their affair went public. The scandal had been smoldering for years, but if you go back in time, this night was the lid coming off. Jasmine had already confronted Kirk on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, exposing his secrets for everyone to see. She wasn't merely creating a stir, though. She was pulling the bandage off old wounds. Kirk wasn't about to let her run the show. He had dealt with her unpredictable energy before. But this went too far, so he called the police, locked down the evidence, and unleashed his legal team. When the police arrived, they found an irate Jasmine accusing Kirk of abandoning her and Cannon. Kirk remained composed and let the badges sort things out. The report they filed didn't portray Jasmine in a positive light. Instead, it contained words like aggressive and out of control, and that paperwork became invaluable for Kirk down the road. However, this was more than just a late-night intrusion. It was the culmination of years of complicated drama, including paternity disputes, neglect allegations, and a liaison that made Kirk and Rashida's marriage a battleground. Kirk couldn't get rid of this lawsuit, which is the turning point in a story that has been tormenting them all even after he admitted to the affair and Cannon's DNA. Jasmine continued to press for additional assistance and appeared like a ghost.
And Kirk is so dumb. And he's just a cheater. Where the are the bitches that I'm cheating with? Help me out.
This time, Kirk wasn't playing around. Instead, he came out swinging. He gave Jasmine a restraining order and piled on lawsuits, accusing her of harassment, trespassing, property damage, and emotional distress. The ace in his sleeve was crystal clear security footage, which sealed the deal. His legal team knew they had a winner, portraying Jasmine as a disruptive trespasser who had gone too far. The video from that chaotic night wasn't just lying there. She was banging on his door, yelling threats about dragging his name through the mud, demanding answers, and transforming the scene into a neighborhood spectacle. For Kirk's camp, it was an open and shut case. She didn't just crash his space, she made sure everyone heard her do it. That restraining order changed the course of events, putting a legal wall between Jasmine's and Kirk's lives for good, or at least on paper. It was his line in the sand. With the evidence stacked high against her, Jasmine's chances of squeezing out looked slimmer than ever. Kirk's team didn't stop there, though, building a case that portrayed her as a publicity-seeking individual focused on maintaining her spotlight. Let's move on to Rashida. She has endured many hardships because of Kirk's past mistakes, but this time, she is fully committed to her husband. Word from the inner circle indicates that she has his back, telling him to distance Jasmine from their world once and for all. She is finished with the drama and is prepared to see this chapter buried for both Kirk and Rashida. They claimed Jasmine was using their previous relationship to keep her name buzzing, more focused on TV presence than on Cannon's well-being. This is more than just a victory. It's a fresh start from a history that has plagued them for too long.
See this one? Okay. At the end of the day, y'all, on some real, it's like when you in a marriage and a commitment, and I grew up with this man, and he's hurt me, and it's crazy because he's also helped me grow to become the woman I am today. But when you hurt somebody and you dismantle a bond, that's the hardest thing to get over. Heartbreak is like...
Over the years, Rashida has endured infidelity, deceit, and more public scrutiny than anyone deserves. However, this time, she is making a firm stand, protecting her family and permanently removing Jasmine from the scene. Rumor has it that she has been leading from behind the scenes, encouraging Kirk to ensure that Jasmine's disruptions never shake their doorstep again. This isn't simply support, it's a power move. Her commitment to Kirk is unwavering right now, and she is all about building a fortress around their lives. Although there are whispers that Jasmine is planning a comeback, is it true? She isn't going away quietly. She has been vocal about Kirk avoiding his responsibilities and has hinted that she has evidence tucked away to support her claims. The rumors suggest she's preparing to flip the script and portray herself as the real victim in this saga. But she's facing serious obstacles. Kirk's case is fortified with police records, video footage, and eyewitnesses who saw her unravel that night. She may try to present herself as a mother fighting for her child, but Kirk's legal team is painting her as someone unpredictable and unstable. Jasmine has never been one to back down without a fight, and now she's claiming that Kirk's lawsuits aren't about protection. They're about silencing her. She describes Kirk as a manipulative figure who has harassed her for years to keep their affair and its fallout buried. Jasmine is now accusing Kirk of crafting a narrative to make her look unstable while he plays the part of the injured party. She's implying that Kirk has a pattern of flipping the script and casting any woman who challenges him in a negative light. Jasmine even claims Kirk used intimidation when their affair was first exposed. The problem? She hasn't shown any actual proof, no emails, no recordings, leaving the public to wonder what's true and what's just noise. Though her record is far from spotless, Jasmine was the spark that kept Kirk and Rashida's relationship in the spotlight for years. Her attempts to play the victim haven't landed the way she hoped. While some see a mother fighting for justice, others view her as someone leveraging scandal for exposure on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Now she's got a steep hill to climb, especially with Rashida's unshakable position and Kirk's mountain of evidence. When she first came forward with her version of events, reactions were mixed. Some saw pain, others saw publicity.
With Kirk and Rashida. Boy, okay. She brought up, the defects case with Cannon because he's been tardy a lot. And I'm just like, you haven't been concerned about anything in years. This is my first time hearing from you.
So
actually.
she wants to bring up all the negativity as opposed to taking control. And
When Jasmine showed up at Kirk's house that night, a lot of people believed she was just trying to stay in the public eye. But here's the question. What if she's not bluffing? Jasmine's past is rocky, but sometimes the person who sounds the alarm isn't lying. If she truly has evidence to back her claims, Kirk could find himself in trouble all over again. Still, the judge wasn't moved by Jasmine's emotional appeal, even with alleged emails or recordings suggesting Kirk played the villain. The court sided with Kirk on every count. A restraining order was granted, barring Jasmine from entering Kirk's property or interfering in his life. The harassment and trespassing charges held firm, and the judge made it clear Jasmine's behavior wasn't just impulsive, it was threatening. Now, Jasmine's walking a legal tightrope. If she violates the restraining order or pulls another stunt, criminal charges could follow. Kirk's legal team boxed her in, and one wrong move could land her right back in front of a judge. But Kirk isn't stopping there. He's pushing for full custody of Cannon. And honestly, the odds are stacked in his favor. Between the security footage from that night, the court's restraining order, and the public harassment claims, Jasmine doesn't exactly come off as a picture of stability. Kirk's attorneys are building a strong case that Cannon would be safer and better off in a calm, drama-free environment. Kirk also has the money and influence to press this forward quickly. Still, Jasmine refuses to back down. She continues to accuse Kirk of being an absent father and failing to fulfill his parenting duties. She's even toying with the idea of requesting increased child support. But with legal defeats piling up, her credibility is under fire. Even though the public and the courts don't seem to be siding with Jasmine, and she appears more frantic than threatening, this courtroom win may not be the final chapter. Jasmine insists she still has secrets to spill, hinting at proof of Kirk's questionable behavior that has yet to see the light. But is she just making noise? Many believe Jasmine is simply trying to stay relevant and protect her image. Meanwhile, Rashida appears completely unbothered, standing firm beside Kirk. After everything, it looks like Kirk and Rashida are finally back on solid ground and ready to close the book on this exhausting saga. But what do you think? Did Jasmine bring this on herself? Or is Kirk taking things too far? Is this just a case of a hurt woman striking back? Or does Jasmine actually have something that could shake up Kirk and Rashida's world? Let us know in the comments below.